red alert at Ibrox. A Premier League star wants to sign for Rangers and could arrive for free. Russell Martin's ready to blow half the transfer budget on a trusted old ally. But is it brilliance or madness? Cyriel Dessers, despite bagging 29 goals, is openly talking about leaving. With Greek clubs circling, his goodbye could be closer than ever. And watch out, Rangers are at risk of losing yet another rising Scottish talent to English sides after dragging their heels yet again. In negotiations, there's chaos, there's drama, and every twist could define the future of this new era at Ibrox. Let's get into it. You've got Russell Martin, fresh in the door at Ibrox, looking to make a statement. And what better way than reuniting with one of his favourites, Flynn Downes, a lad he's already signed twice in his career. Once at Swansea for just £1 million, then again at Southampton for a whopping £15 million. Now here we are again, the same player back in the mix, but with a rather spicy price tag. Southampton, recently flushed down the English Premier League plug hole, are digging in their heels. They're demanding at least £10 million to part ways with the 26-year-old midfielder. And that's not loose change. It's half of the £20 million reportedly set aside for Martin's Ibrox overhaul. Now, Downes is no mug. He's got pedigree in the Championship, a few Premier League appearances under his belt, and has even captained Southampton. But here's the kicker. He was part of one of the worst performing sides in English top-flight history. So is he really the bloke you throw half the transfer budget at? It reeks of sentimentality, doesn't it? Martin wants his trusted general in the trenches, someone he's comfortable with, someone who gets his style. But this isn't Swansea, this isn't Southampton, this is Rangers. You need warriors, game changers, players who can handle the pressure of winning every single week and outshining Celtic under the Ibrox lights. You're not building a vanity project here, you're building a title-winning team. And with glaring needs across the park, spending £10 million on one player, regardless of his familiarity, feels more risky than ruthless. And let's not forget, the last time Rangers shelled out more than £10 million on a player was way back in the year 2000. Tor André Flo, a striker, a Norwegian international, not a deep-lying midfielder from a relegated side. If Martin actually spends half of Rangers' budget on Flynn Downes, does that show ambition or naivety? Well, here we go again. Cyriel Dessers, the enigma in blue, might be packing his bags, and to be honest, would you really miss him? A striker who nets 29 goals in a season should be untouchable, shouldn't he? But Dessers isn't that kind of forward. He scored, but for every goal, there were 3 sitters ballooned into the Copland Road. He's the kind of player that gives you hope one minute, then has you tearing your hair out the next. And now, with interest bubbling from Greece, AEK Athens and Olympiacos sniffing around, he's all too happy to chat about it on international duty with Nigeria. That tells you something right there. He knows the writing might be on the wall at Ibrox, and maybe that's not a bad thing. Russell Martin's just in the door and needs to shape this squad in his own image. If he's serious about building a winning side, one that can dismantle Celtic and reclaim the throne, then he needs a number 9 who doesn't just flatter to deceive. He needs a striker who terrifies defenses, not one who turns up in stats but disappears in key moments. And let's not forget Hamza Igamani. The Moroccan lad showed more flair and natural instinct in flashes than Dessers did over months. Imagine what he could become with a manager that actually believes in him. Why waste time and wages on a 30-year-old whose peak might already be behind him? Dessers still has value, and with Greek clubs circling, this might be the perfect time to cash in, reinvest the money into a younger, hungrier striker who actually wants to be the main man at Ibrox. So here's what you need to ask yourself. If Cyriel Dessers was wearing a green and white shirt and playing like that, would you want Rangers to sign him? Right, time to unwrap your Sunday morning with a wee dose of Ibrox insight. Grab your brew because there's plenty cooking behind the scenes. First up, the race is heating up for Josh Mulligan, a Dundee midfielder who's just become a free agent after a solid campaign featuring 41 appearances. Rangers were sniffing about him back in January, thinking about a pre-contract, same way they moved early for Lyle Cameron, but then everything got stuck in limbo while Kevin Thelwell and Dan Purdy were getting settled. Now, with the door ajar, it's English clubs who are making the noise. League One duo Plymouth Argyle and Cardiff City are circling, while Championship side Oxford United are also in the hunt. Mulligan's stock is clearly on the rise, and here's the thing. You've got a talented, versatile Scottish player free of charge who wants a step up. If Rangers don't move sharpish, they could lose out yet again to clubs offering far less prestige than Ibrox. You can't keep sitting on your hands while other teams grab the players that could be shaping your future midfield. Meanwhile, the Barry Ferguson saga isn't quite over either, is it? His brother Derek's been out speaking again, hinting that Barry could be Ibrox bound if things go sideways under Russell Martin. Barry handled his interim spell with a real sense of command, brought a spark back, got some grit out of the squad, and had the aura you want around the touchline. A proper Rangers man now. He's back in an ambassadorial role, watching, waiting, and maybe even hoping. You know what? If things don't take off under Martin, would Barry Ferguson be such a wild shout? Maybe not. Derek's not exactly subtle in floating the idea that it could be a job for life if the stars align. And let's be honest, that'd send some folk into meltdown and others into raptures. If Russell Martin stumbles early next season, would you actually want Barry Ferguson back at Ibrox as permanent manager, or is that just romantic nonsense? Now here's one for you. A Premier League player keen on a move to Ibrox reportedly wants to pull on the famous blue shirt. Harry Toffolo, Nottingham Forest's left back, is said to be eyeing a switch to Rangers this summer. And let's be clear, this isn't your usual paper talk. He's out of contract, barely played last season, and knows his future lies away from the City ground. Rangers, that's the destination he's got in mind. You might remember Toffolo was a steady performer in the Championship, part of Forest's promotion push, and even chipped in with the odd assist. But after a season of warming the bench in the Premier League, just 4 top-flight appearances, it's no wonder he's looking for a proper footballing challenge. And there's no bigger challenge than restoring Rangers to dominance in Scotland. Russell Martin has apparently been handed £20 million to sort this squad out. A new defence is top of the list, and thank the stars for that, because conceding 41 goals in 38 league games, only 4 clean sheets away from home, is an utter embarrassment. You don't win titles with that kind of fragility, so with Ridvan Yilmaz linked with a departure, Toffolo might just be the experienced replacement Martin wants. The lad's 29, he's tough, dependable, and has that bite in his game. And the best part? You're not paying a transfer fee. That's smart business. On paper, at least. But here's the question that really matters. If Harry Toffolo couldn't even get into Forest's team, what makes him good enough to help Rangers stop Celtic next season? Comment below what you think about the news. Don't forget to leave a like on the video to help me out. I post videos every day talking about our Rangers, so if you're not subscribed, you're missing out on the latest news. See you soon.